your hosts, Derek, Nasty, Settlemyre, and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer, Riley, Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. This week's guest is former Philadelphia Flyer and current power forward for the St. Louis Blues, BRAYDEN SCHENN. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. Another episode of Nasty Knuckles. What's going on, Nasty?
What's up, Riggs? Big weekend we just had. Watching you buzz around the ice a little bit.
Yeah.
Score a little G note.
A little backdoor action.
Little backdoor action. Everybody can use some of that sometimes. But anyway, it was a great weekend, man.
It was.
The Flyers Warrior team taking on the Flyer alumni, your group. I have to say, I was a little intimidated when I watched you guys come out for warm-ups and I saw Dave Brown, Al Rocky Secord, yourself, Jesse Bolleries, Fridge, Big Jeff Chikrin was out there with you guys. I'm probably missing.
Well, Lappy is floating around there.
Lappy, but Lappy was skilled. Yeah, but buck 80, he was skilling it up. This guy's toe dragging. He loves to remind you that he scored 100 points as a junior. And you could see a little bit of the skill there. I think he practiced for a few weeks. I think he was working on the midsies.
He claims he didn't put on the wheels for over 10 years, is what he's telling me. But
wow, he puts them on every day when he goes on the ice. So there's a lie
the
right
gear,
there.
The gear.
The
full gear.
But he looked good though. He was buzzed around. Then you got Danny B just sniping whatever he wanted to. But
he never missed a beat.
He looks like he could still play.
Oh,
he looks about 28, 29, and he was still skating and shooting the puck. But it's a great cause for Joe Watson and great turnout. Great turnout. It was so much fun. It was nice to be on the bench working a game. I didn't have to do too much, obviously, but it was a lot of fun watching you guys play and the alumni the Warriors. They were really jacked up for it.
They were.
I thought you might get a little tilly there in the third period when you were getting raked a little bit.
Oh man, well I didn't go into the game expecting to have to tilly, but end of my shift in the third period of that third game there. Guy was crossing the line. I was exhausted. I was like, do I want to do this? Do I want to engage in the fight here and maybe get pumped because I'm so tired?
All I could think of was Cam Jansen and Biz fighting in that alumni game a couple years ago. But it was funny because the guy kind of hit you, rubbed you out a little bit. Then he gave you a little stick action. That's what surprised me. And you turned back and looked, and one of the boys turned back to me and goes, "Hey, is Riggs pissed off?" And I said, "He's getting there." And then he gave you another shot, and I saw you shorten the stick up and kind of give him a little tug with your blade. And I said, "Yeah, boys, careful." Pissed. And they were like, "Hey, settle down.
Oh, man.
But no, I was kind of got a chuckle out of it because they were fired up. They start out with a 1-0 lead in the third.
Oh, yeah. They're buzzing.
He was flying.
He was quick.
It probably helped. He is a fast skater. He's a hell of a player, actually. But it probably helped that Joe Watson was on the left side there. God bless him.
Blew right past the poor guy. 7, 8 years old and still mucking it up.
He was mucking it up. I heard he was. I wasn't on your bench, but my dad told me he was still into the game, like it was.
Oh yeah.
74. Let's go. He's bitching and yelling and
man. Before the game starts for warm-ups, he's like, "Come on, guys, let's go. 5 minutes. He's all over it, man. Yeah, he don't stop, man.
No, I played open hockey with Joe a few times over at the center. On game days we have those skates in the morning, and I just didn't want to play on his team because he was yelling the whole damn time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, Joe, we're just getting a workout here. He's wanting to set up plays and we got to play we got to play a trap. And I'm like,
oh yeah, he wants to win always. Yep.
But it was fun. It was great. It was a great day, great time, man. The party afterward was awesome.
Yeah.
They did it the right way. Brad Marsh does a really good job.
He really does.
With the Warriors and with the alumni. A lot of credit goes to him because he that must have taken a lot of time to plan that whole thing out.
Oh yeah,
it was top notch. It was done
it really was.
well.
Yeah, Marshy and again, and I think most of those Flyer Warrior guys helped.
Yeah,
put
Duffy.
it together.
Duff.
Just changing
Duff
over
does
the
a
ice
lot.
and putting together the tables and everything. So there's a lot that went into it, and it was an awesome event. And hope to do that again here sometime sooner. I was actually just thinking one of those periods. I think the second period, I was skating to the bench and I could hear you chirping me. I think I was fumbling the puck as usual. You're like, "What are you doing, Ryle? Just chopping up some broccoli."
Chopping up.
I was like something like that, a little cabbage.
Yeah, I had to do something. And you know who else? I don't know how I forgot, but Big Jody Shelley.
Oh yeah,
another guy out there. You guys are out there. I'm like, I tell you what, I'd like to play on that team because I would have a ton of room.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would. Skillsy.
It was a great weekend. That was a great time, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
How was the golf tournament? How was the golf tournament?
It was great. It was smoking hot. Oh yeah, like 93,
yeah.
And another awesome celebration for Joe. Put a lot of people to tears. They put together a nice little, little video, celebrating his 54 years as a Flyer, and it was pretty awesome. You see a guy so passionate and like he's genuine as they're gonna come, and that's what it's all about. So it was a good day.
I love his nickname. When you say his name, it's Joe Watson, because he says everything twice. Yeah, boys, let's go. Yeah. Everything he says it twice. Joe Watson.
Yeah,
love him. Great guy.
He's fired up. Right on. What do we got going on in the NHL here? Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, we got a 1-0 lead. Tampa looked pretty good the other night. I think they're gonna. I think Tampa. That was my pick to win. I would love to see a 7-game series. I'm not sure it's going to happen, and I'm saying that to maybe jinx it, so it does go 7 games. Because every time we say, every time we think one thing, something else happens. So, but they look pretty damn good, man.
Yeah,
God, they're a good team.
They're really good. No, I agree. Originally, I was thinking Tampa in 6, but it might be Tampa in 5. Montreal has definitely got some jam, but Tampa is just to me, the way it looked in Game 1, anyways.
Yeah, it got a little chippy, which was nice. Right away that these two teams, they didn't see, which is odd because usually they would see each other a few times a year, but it got chippy, which was good to see. Like Montreal wasn't backing down, so. Hopefully tonight it's a good game too, and see what happens. But I think Tampa's strong. They can play any way they want. If you want to play a slow down game, they're so good defensively, and they got that big number 88 in net back there.
Yeah, right.
And he's a stud. Not that Carey Price isn't. I mean, he's probably one of the main reasons they are in this final. But you want to run and gun. You probably don't want to run and gun with Tampa.
Yeah,
because they can run and gun.
They can.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Game 2 tonight. See what happens.
Yeah. All right, Nas. Well, let's jump into our episode 30 with our friend BRAYDEN Schenner.
Yeah, that's right, Riggs. This episode is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, and I got to tell you something, Riggs. DraftKings Sportsbook is not only my favorite sportsbook, but also America's top-rated sportsbook. I love using DraftKings Sportsbook. It is easy to navigate, has plenty of instructions for new bettors, and nearly limitless ways to get in on all the action. My friends and family have been loving DraftKings Sportsbook, and I know you will too. Listen to this great offer, Riggs.
Let's hear it.
All right. DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside with a chance to turn $1 into $100 in site credits. That's right. Pick any basketball team that is still in contention, bet $1, and if that team wins, you win $100 in site credits. Don't forget, DraftKings Sportsbook also offers great odds and promotions on baseball, hockey, and so much more all week long. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code KNUCKLES when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game. And if they do, you will claim $100 in free credits. That's promo code Knuckles for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's go. I got the Phoenix Suns. Knuckles, Phoenix Suns. That's my pick.
Welcome back to another episode of Nasty Knuckles. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. And this week we have a very special guest for you guys. One of my favorite guys I've ever had, and his brother as well. Two of the best people I've met in hockey, and that's a true story. Number 10, Mr. BRAYDEN Schenn. Shenner, what is up, brother?
Thanks for having me, guys. Listen to a few podcasts. So it's good to be on.
We appreciate you taking the time, man.
So where are you?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, where are you tuning in from today?
Just St. Louis. Kind of been hanging out here kind of after we lost out there in the playoffs. A few vacations, a few golf trips. Now starting to train and kind of get back into it. And just kind of hanging out here waiting for the border to kind of open a little bit there in the beginning of July. And that's pretty much it.
Nice, man. It's a shit show for you Canadians. Trying to be at home, man. Everybody we talk to, even the guys we've had a few guys that are there and they're just like pulling their hair out. They still can't do anything. You know, it's hard to go do anything basically.
Yeah, it's a little different way of life in Canada right now than the States from what you hear from back home.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering if it was ever gonna start shifting back to normal, but finally it's a little better now. So
slowly but surely.
Happy about that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You made the right call hanging in St. Louis there.
Yeah, it's actually it's a good town. Like, I feel like when you come in here as a road team, you're like, you get off the plane and go to the hotel, and there's like really not a whole lot going on downtown other than the rink and the ball field and stuff like that. But once you kind of get out to the suburbs and kind of know the town and kind of how the way of life around here is like so easy. And I think that's kind of why it's crazy. Like, you got some of the world's best hockey players living in St. Louis. It's just an easy town to be a part of good people. And that's kind of why I think they have the biggest alumni association out of anyone. So.
I was going to say that Riley's obviously involved with the alumni here, but it's funny watching you guys. I watch you guys play a lot, obviously because of you and Craig Berube. I watch a lot of your games now that I have time. Unfortunately, I have way more time than I used to. But but seriously, it's amazing how many of the old players stick around there. And even when I was with the Flyers and coming in there, Christ, I remember coming in there. Walt was sitting in there one day, but Brett Hull. And so that's pretty cool that they all stick around. A lot of the Flyers ex guys stick around here as well too. But I know you guys have a big crew.
There's big alumni, and I think they built a brand new practice facility out here, and they got a nice alumni locker room where I think the guys get together and
awesome.
Play hockey and stuff like that.
They love it. They're probably in there every day.
And then they got the whole Budweiser sponsorship, and I think they're probably pounding a few back and having a good time like that.
Holly doesn't put any back, does he?
No. We didn't see that 2 years ago during the cup run. No, they got like Holly's around here a little bit. I think he's between here and Nashville. Kelly Chase is obviously here. Wayne Gretzky's been here lots recently.
Yeah, Chief was telling me that he had met him up for coffee and stuff a few
times. Yeah, he's got a couple memberships out here. It's funny, like you kind of you could kind of pick anywhere in the world to kind of spend some time at in St. Louis. I think her mom's from here, and I don't know. Anyways, family from here, so he kind of spent some time and hangs out. So
I bet people are used to it now, but I bet you're walking in St. Louis and is that Wayne Gretzky, for God's sake?
Yeah. I know.
What's he doing in St. Louis?
Sorry, I got
the pup.
The pup. I got a pup. Yep.
All right.
No worries.
So, there we go. I muted it for a sec.
All right.
So you back in the swing of training already there, Shenner?
Yeah, just kind of like starting training, I guess. And, it's really not that long of off season. Once you kind of grind it all down, you kind of have 2.5 months here to kind of get ready for the season again. So yeah, just kind of doing some training, probably start skating in a couple weeks or 2 or 3 weeks here and kind of getting ready for the season. As you get older here, you don't want to wait too long to put on the skates.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to lose it. So yeah, I'll start with that.
Nice.
You're not old yet, big boy.
No, I know.
You got some good years left in you.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, back when I coached you a little bit with the Phantoms back in the day, you were pretty with it and progressive with your training. I don't think you were working with Gary Roberts back then. Obviously, that's how many years ago. But are you still tackling the training with that same intelligence that you were back then? I mean, you're obviously in tip-top shape and you're able to sustain your career nice and
well, I think when you had me back in the day, I don't think I was in tip-top shape. I might have been about 30 overweight.
Yeah,
so
no
30
yeah.
little baby seal back then.
Yeah. No, I trained with just kind of the past. I mean, in Kelowna, I'm in Kelowna usually in the off season. There's so many guys there where you can train and skate with, so it's pretty good with the likes of Carey Price, Shea Weber, Brent Seabrook, Scott Hartnell, guys like that. It's kind of the Kelowna crew's getting a little bit older though,
right?
As we go here. And then training, I've always trained the past 6 years with Andy O'Brien.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just been kind of do a takeaway program from him, kind of see him once or maybe twice a summer to check in. And I find it's helped me and makes me feel good. And that's kind of what you have to go with. There's always different ways and methods out there, but it kind of whatever makes you feel comfortable. And it seemed to help me.
Nice, man.
We were talking to JBR last week, Schenner, and I was just wondering, obviously I haven't been around you much in the last few years since you were gone, but he's gotten away from a lot of the pounding on the pavement, running and stuff like that. He's doing more of the bands and stretching. Yeah. He's really into that. Are you doing a bit of that? Or?
Yeah, that's like Andy. So Andy has like quite a few guys. He has like Sid and like McKinnon, and he has like Tavares and Spets and like okay guys. But then I think there's this guy that I don't even know who he is, but out of Chicago who JBR is with. I think he has like Matthews and Kane and like Taves and all these guys. Anyways, but like I don't think they're even like lifting weights at all. Like nothing. Like Andy does a lot of that too. He's been doing that for like I'm talking for the past 6 years. You don't lift more than. I don't know. It's just like all movement and mobility is crazy. How like you literally like your warm up will be like longer than your workout, or I mean warm up as in warm up and mobility. And then you'll lift for a little bit, and like that's kind of trying to stay fast and stay mobile rather than big and heavy these days. So
that's outdated.
Rouse, just think, Riggs, if you could, you were
still be playing, man.
Heavier.
Yeah, he still was.
I was a fan. Hey, you say you were 30 pounds heavier, man. I was legitimately.
He was 40 pounds.
Yeah.
No,
he was also fighting mutants every night.
I always tell this story. My first year in Philly, Claude Drew was obviously very nice and brought me into live with him. And he was like this like skinny guy, like eating grilled cheese all the time and like yogurt parfaits. And we were hammering like Cold Stone at night. So I came in like that year, like good shape, like 190 pounds, body fat was really good. And then like I had a few injuries and stuff like that. And I was like still eating like he was eating, and I wasn't even playing and he was. And I was like at the end of the season, I was like up to like 220, and like I had guys like Pronger and like Yammer Yager and stuff like that. Like I think at the end of it, like Yogs, just my nickname for him was just Ice Cream. He just called me Ice Cream. That's it. So yeah, no, it was you learn as you go, and definitely put on a few rookie pounds.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, and Prongs and Yogs are obviously the elder statement on that team, and they were in phenomenal shape, both of them.
Yeah, they took care of themselves for sure.
They did.
Yogs is still buzzing. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, right.
No, Yogs. He's a mess, man. He was. I remember walking into a room with all he was your first year with us, and he would be like 40 years old, like flexing. Guys like, damn, he's jacked.
The young guys on the team were a lot thicker than that.
Yeah. Well, Coots looked like he was 13 his rookie year there. You guys were all young. We had Reader. Reader was a little older than you guys, but he still looked young. But Coots, looking back at the team pictures, man, he looks like he's 12 years old.
Yeah, Zach
And
Ronaldo.
still had no teeth.
Yeah, Reno,
Reno.
Reno had a little chub on him too.
Yeah, he
he
looks
did,
good now, man. He looks
yeah.
good now. He trains his ass off.
Yeah, I know he does. Yeah.
He was in that fat club back with the Phantoms back in the day there. Him and Marc-Andre Bourdon. We had to.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want a sandwich. I come in there the one day, it's the summer, and they got him sticking around. I don't know if he was hurt or what, but I brought my own lunch in, so it's a summertime, and I go to the fridge. My sandwich is gone. I'm like, what the fuck? I know I didn't eat. And I start walking down the hall, and there's Board. He's got the thing. He's eating it. And I said, yo, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, the refrigerator. And I'm like, that's mine. He goes, I just wanted a sandwich. I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, that was mine, bro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's hard to get mad at him just listening to him talk, but oh man.
He's a beauty.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player. It's too bad he got hurt.
Yeah. No, played with him a little bit. We had a bunch of good guys.
Yeah.
Back in Philly.
Yeah. So Schenner, this year obviously didn't work out the way the team wanted. Obviously, you ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. I didn't think that team was going to lose. Speaking of Colorado's, who I'm talking about, obviously. I was obviously pulling for you guys, but they looked like they were unbeatable, and then they got beat.
Yeah.
But, like with you guys, I guess it kind of did it open up a little bit in the playoffs? Did you have a few fans? I think you had a few fans. I know it was.
Yeah, I think we had like both teams at the time had like 6,000 or 7,000 or something like that.
Okay, yeah. And the reason I asked, I was just gonna ask you, like the year before, like that whole situation going to the bubble. I mean, what was your take on that? Was it just?
Yeah, it was a lot of like uncertainty. It was like, obviously business part of it and everything, we're trying to grab money from TV and stuff. So the bubble went on, but like guys were training like out of their houses and like doing all that. A lot of like didn't know whether to train for 2 months, 3 months kind of. So you had no reason, like you're just kind of going with the flow. And then we started all skating 3 weeks before, I guess, playoffs, which was like a 7-day training camp. So you skated for 3 weeks and a bit. And I actually got COVID just before that.
Oh, no way.
So I didn't skate for like, I don't know, I guess call it 2-3 months, skated for like a week, got COVID, then went right into training camp with like 5 days right into the playoffs. So there's like a lot of that. And like, I wasn't the only guy. There's a bunch of guys dealing with that in the bubble. But and then, I mean, we all know like the fans are, everything about hockey. And then those first couple games playing the bubble, playing not in front of no fans, you're just like, this is really weird. But even saying that, like going into this season, you just knew what to expect. So it was easier. But for those first couple of games, you're like, this is like the weirdest thing ever. And then it worked out, and kind of now seeing fans back in the building and kind of in our division, well, there was like, obviously California was pretty stingy kind of throughout the whole thing this year.
Yeah.
Vegas and Arizona was the first to get fans, and we had fans. So it's kind of like, as you seen them come back in the building, and kind of gets you revved up like playoff time was coming. So it was obviously nice to see.
It's funny, like watching you guys play like that with no one in the building. It reminded me of like years ago when I was I had just started with the Phantoms, and we would go play, say Albany, but we would play it in New Jersey in Meadowlands Arena.
Yeah.
And no one was in there, and you could hear everything. And I was just like in my head, I'm like, it must be unbelievable. You guys are playing these games with no one in there, and you could probably hear the other coach talking, for God's sakes, just because it's so quiet. It's kind of
even like weird. guys would like get into scrums, and like you start like ripping off a guy's helmet or like punch a guy in the face, and you hear like there's no noise, and then guys just like quietly like stop, like, all right, like, we're good. We're good. Like there's nothing to get, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
It was great to be able to see that many games like every day. It was awesome for a fan, watching. But it was also weird, like with no fans there, and I can only imagine for you guys. But anyway,
it was like the old inter squad games in preseason, right? There's no fans. It was
no
just
fans, just a couple GMs kind of staring down on you.
Exactly, right?
Guys are just trying to kill each other and fight and do whatever. Make an impression.
Jeez. So the year before, 2 years ago, you get the hoist Stanley Cup, man. It was the greatest thing to watch, seeing you get to do that, man. And obviously Chief. And we were following you guys hardcore. Now it sucked that you started that whole thing here, though.
Yeah, right.
The big rats. I shouldn't say it sucked. It was great, but it was funny. You guys were like in a tailspin, man, like going the other way, and then next thing you know, you guys go get lit up, old school, play guilty, and fucking start a run, man.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was just like one of those things where like we were supposed to be good, and we brought in like O'Reilly, Bozak, Maroon, Prawn, all these like pretty big names that would help you win hockey games. They were just like spinning our tires. We're in last place, and all was just some dark times around the room. And Chief came in and kind of brought everyone together, and then we're still trying to find our way. And yeah, guys, there's a bunch of guys that went out there in Philadelphia. I think the Eagles were playing that night, and had a few. And Binner came in, got his first shutout, and obviously after that, we were just I think we went on like
rolling.
We were like 12 or 13 game win streak mid-season, so kind of just all came together perfectly.
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch, man. It was great, and then your bro gets to do it. I mean, that must have been cool for you to get this. You've done it, then he gets to do it, and he might do it again. Knock on wood. We don't want to jinx him, but that's so cool that you both grow up playing hockey your whole life. I'm sure you two playing against other kids, you're playing for the cup just like any kids do. And I was shooting for the world championship, NBA championship as a kid, never really scoring for the Stanley Cup. But anyway, must have just, what your family just must have been ecstatic,
Yeah, they're just,
it's so cool.
Yeah, they're obviously, I know just from hearing stories from other parents. I think Robert Thomas's dad came up to me saying Luke was like the happiest guy in the building when I won. So
yeah,
watching last year stuff like that, like I was so nervous watching on the couch. Like you just want him to have the same feeling as you, and luckily he did, and played a role for him and helped them. And I kind of one of those guys that kind of brought a little bit of attitude towards their team. And like I said, hopefully they get a chance to do it again. Obviously 3 wins away, and you just never know.
It's crazy. I was texting with him today a little bit, but I was so happy, and like I said, so happy for you, and then him. I'm like, this is unbelievable, man. Like, brothers. I mean, I'm sure there's other brothers that have both been able to win the cup, but that's pretty cool, man. It can't be a whole lot.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky, that's for sure.
Yeah, you earned it. I mean, it's not like it just fell in your lap. So you guys both are hardworking guys. So it's really cool.
Talk about Chief as as the bench boss. I believe you played for him in Philly, did you not?
Yeah, I've pretty much had Chief like kind of ever since I've been 20. 10 years now. Like,
you poor bastard.
Yeah, right.
No, he's been obviously unbelievable to me, and just like he was my assistant coach with the Flyers, and then he was my head, and then obviously fired him, and then he kind of came out as assistant with the Blues, and now the head. So kind of had that kind of got taste of both worlds for him when he's kind of lighthearted and like to have a ton of fun with the boys when he's assistant. And obviously you got to change a little bit when you're ahead, but I think guys respect him in their locker room and kind of know exactly what you're going to get from him, and he's really no gray area with him. So
yeah, right.
We enjoy having. He's funny. Once he gets heated and gets fired up a little bit, boys have some laughs after the fact, not during. But
yeah, right.
Yeah. No, it's no, he's awesome to play for.
Obviously, I talk to him almost daily, and he just, some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, as you know, Riley, too. It's just, you almost wish everyone could hear it because they wouldn't believe half of it. But he's just so funny, man.
When he gets fired up, he's you guys kind of back off. Gets a little scary there when he's giving it to the whole team, but doesn't happen often. But when it does, you kind of just sit back and try not to be looked at.
And there's what do you call those things, boys? Like they're like memes. They're like 1 second little videos. Is that what they're called? Memes?
The GIFs or the GIF?
GIFs. That's what it is. There's one of him, and he's just going, fuck. Like it has.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
So I sent that to him, and he goes, his response was, I probably shouldn't have done that. Like there's a lot of other things you probably shouldn't have done besides
right.
that.
Yeah.
He's so funny. He called me when year and a half ago when I was still with the team, and Schenner, we actually talked that day because I was at a tailgate in Pittsburgh. One of our good buddies had a tailgate there. So the whole walk from the hotel, you guys had played in Detroit. I think you had a 4-1 lead. You blew the lead, but you ended up winning the game in overtime. And I just saw the highlights as I was doing a little bit of paperwork, and then I was heading over to the tailgate. And phone rings, and it's the big boy, and he starts talking. I said, "Hey, I just saw the highlights from your game last night. It's, good win." You kind of let him back in, but he said, he's all wound up. He's like, "These guys, yeah, blah blah blah." You know how he is, but he loves you guys. But he's just like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "They scored 2 in a row, so I call a timeout." And boys come over, and I don't know if he's exaggerating. You could probably tell me the truth, but he says, "I call a timeout," and guys come over, and I'm talking to Otter, Steve Ott, one of your assistant coaches, and you guys are kind of like standing there, and he said he turns around and goes, "Oh no, boys, I'm just letting Larkin get a breath here so he can tie it up. You're letting him do whatever the fuck he wants." And I said, "No, you didn't." Oh yeah. And guess what? He tied it up. He says, or somebody did. I don't know if it was him or not.
Yeah, I remember.
I said, "Well, you ended up winning," and he's like, "Yeah, I was pissed off though." And then Army came in, and it was so funny the way he's telling it. He goes, "I walk out of the coach's room, I'm so wound up," and I said, "Did you grab a Bud Light first?" He goes, "Oh yeah, had one of those." And he says, he goes out, and I guess Petrangelo's talking to someone, and he calls Petro over. He says, "Did you want us to trade you to Detroit?" And he says, "No, why?" He goes, "Oh, because you were playing for him tonight." Like that. He says, Petro's just like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, he gets that sarcasm where it's like sometimes I don't even know if he's serious or if he's not, but he's always like smiling underneath his breath, like loving it.
I think he enjoys it because he played for some coaches. He played for Schoenfeld, and I love hearing his Daryl Sutter stories.
Oh yeah,
like those are the best when he tells those stories.
Those are still going, Daryl Sutter.
I know he's back. He's back.
So that's awesome.
But yeah, it must be fun playing for Chief. I would imagine he was fun to. He was so much fun to work with. I know he gets pissed off sometimes, and he just wants to win, that. But he was always really good to the staff, no matter what. Like we could have lost 5 or 6 in a row, and he never took it out on us. He was always really good to work with. But it looked like when you guys were on your journey there to win that cup, man, it looks like you guys had all bought in, and what a team you guys had. The way you guys played together, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, guys enjoyed being around each other, having a few, and it's always easier when you're winning, right? Like you guys can,
that's true.
It's just like came together perfectly.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, Schenner. When he took over in Philly, I feel like he did a similar thing. Where he kind of turned the team around. At least he got them working, skating, right? I mean, I think when Lavi got fired, I think the training camp was horseshit at that training camp where guys are almost like coming out of camp out of shape. And then Chief took over, and he's a simple guy, right? His demands are pretty simple, right? Just like show up and work hard, right? I mean, every coach expects that, but it's pretty simple philosophy. But it seemed like the same thing, after maybe a little while once he got to St. Louis. I mean, obviously got you guys skating and playing a certain way, and you guys bought into it. I felt like there was a lot of parallels to what he did in Philly that we did in St. Louis, minus the Stanley Cup there. Yeah, sorry. He was great. Like he just kind of, I know the Philly approach, he kind of got us in the playoffs that 1 year, turned us around, and kind of the same thing with St. Louis here. Just wants for you to kind of, guys to really, his words are like compete and work hard and stuff like that. And I know most teams expect that, or most coaches expect that, but it's work for him, and he kind of demands that out of his players. Yeah. He's a guy to respect, right? I mean, obviously look back on his career. Everyone demands hard work. I don't know a coach that says don't work hard, but I think there's a way of earning that, that respect and getting guys to buy into it. And I think like it's hard not to go to war for this guy and battle for him, right? Knowing his character and his past. Yeah, that's exactly it. You kind of knew how he played and knew how he was as a teammate. So I think when he's saying it, it's not like he's blowing smoke or kind of wanting something different. That's kind of how he played. So you kind of have to follow his lead there.
Yeah. Oh man. Schenner, so coming back to when you were with the Flyers, your first year was pretty cool. We had a good year that year. It was a fun year. We came off, actually the year before was decent, but it was a big year because of all the trades, and you were involved in that. And came in and it worked. We had a really good year. We beat Pittsburgh and all that, but what was your take on that first year? I mean, you got to play with Jaromir Jagr, a little bit with Chris Pronger. I mean, it's probably a pretty big thrill being a young kid.
Yeah, you never expect to get traded in the middle of summer. Obviously, anything can happen, but I guess it's when your first time, you're a little bit more shocked. And going to Philly, obviously thought it was, just a cool sports town, which obviously it is. And you don't really know much about the city. And when you kind of get there, first training camp with the team, you look around and like you said, it's Pronger and Jagr and, Drew and Hartnell and, there's Chemo team and there's some big names on that roster. And then obviously came over with Simmer, who I knew, and Jake Voracek and Coots ended up making the team. So put together some good pieces. And it was just one of those teams where it was fun. Like there was a good mix of young and old guys, and everyone gelled together and had fun. And JVR was there too. So like I said, we had a bunch of guys that kind of had some skill and also some fun along with it. So good times in Philly. It's obviously looking back, that's one of my favorite years is your rookie year. You're just breaking in, and the likes of, like I said, those guys that I mentioned before, like taking care of you, like a guy like Hartsey really took care of me right from the get-go. And still a good friend to this day. And those are the memories you look back on that you're going to remember forever.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was a fun year. And if I'm not mistaken, your first goal was in the outdoor game, right?
Yeah. I remember. So Lavi came up to me in like the hallway of was it Citizen Bank Park or it was anyways at the time, and he comes up to me and I think I played 10, 11 games. I got hurt. I blocked a shot, and then I played a little bit more. Then I got a concussion. And he came up to me. It's my first game back, and he kind of comes up to me. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "You gonna get one tonight?" He goes, "I can't wait around forever for you." I'm like, all right, so kind of thinking that going into a game. So luckily, got a bounce. Got a bounce, and it went in. So it was pretty cool having that picture and stuff like that, and the goal.
Yeah,
that's great.
And then they have it on like HBO. Like I jumped into the glass and
he was chirping. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm like, he goes, "Hey, Schenner, it's not World Juniors or something like that." And I'm like, let the kid enjoy his first NHL. Right? For fuck's sakes, man.
That's geez, like little wittiness to him.
Yeah, right. Schenner, talk about you getting dealt from LA. I mean, you're a 5th overall pick. I believe you started 2 seasons with LA and landed up going back to juniors. Obviously you're disappointed, right? I mean, your foot's in the organization and the whole bit. I mean, was there something you could kind of pinpoint of maybe why you didn't get the full shot there, or was it just one of those things? It was just like a numbers thing, and just weren't maybe physically mature enough, or whatever.
I think it was. I mean, not the time you always think you are, like
right, of course,
like that. So 5th overall, and I think Tavares made it, Duchesne made it, and Evander Kane made it before me, and Hedman's all the top 4. So you think you're like going to be the next guy or whatever, and which is fine. Like obviously looking back on it, as 18, I knew I wasn't ready, so they sent me back. 19-year-old year, I played. I think 8 games up until Christmas time or something like that. So I played a bunch.
That deadline, right?
Yeah, the deadline where they could send you back to junior. So I was like, I played like 2 or 3, and they had no idea what they were going to do with me. Whether to like keep me for the full year, was I ready? Was I not? Anyways, I did like 3 or 4 games. I sat for a long time, had no idea what was going on. Played like 1 more, sat for a long time, and then all of a sudden came a point where like Dean Lombardi sent me down to the minor somehow, which like on a conditioning stint, which
sneaky loophole there.
I found a loophole.
Dino.
So I went down.
Point a game there though.
Yeah, I went down for a couple more weeks, so to buy me more time. I think I played maybe 1 more, then they sent me back to World Juniors. So at the time, I think like I said, you think you're ready, but looking back on it, they had Kopitar, Jared Stoll, and Michael Handzus, which we were all like, So those are their top 3 center, which are obviously very good. And I think they had, I think it might have been Trevor Lewis as like their 4th line center, who was a young guy at the time. So they were deep down the middle or deep at forward anyways. And it was, I think when I got drafted 5th too, like they obviously had a bad year prior, but they weren't like so bad where like they had no players. It was like one of those years that didn't work out for them, and they got the 5th overall pick. So, like I said, looking back on it, you think you're ready, but it probably worked out for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So I remember you telling me on your draft day, which is awesome. You get picked. You go up to, you told me you walk up there and you go to shake Dino's hand, and what's he say to you?
Well, so they were all like, I'm previously, like I said before the show or at the beginning of it, like I was like pretty chubby and whatever, like didn't exactly eat clean and all that type of stuff. So Drew Doughty, they were on year before me to kind of get in shape and all that type of stuff. So I get the same treatment, which I'm out of shape and all that. And they come to my house, interview me, and obviously they're hard on me at the combine and all that type of stuff. And then you're pumped to get drafted by like Los Angeles. And like you walk up on stage, he's like the first guy that come shake my hand. He goes like, not even like congratulations, like happy to have you. He goes, you ready to get your ass to LA and start working out? I was just like, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
For sure. So no, but just funny times looking back on it and how like the mind games of, all the stuff guys play that obviously try and help you throughout your career, but and which they do. It's just funny looking back on it now, remember all these stories.
We had Christopher Steeg on a while back, and he wasn't there long, but he had a great Dino story that he had told me a few years when he was still playing after he had been in LA. But it just reminded me of when you got called up, and I believe you said Dean never even looked at you. He's looking out the window, but just talking to you or something that.
Yeah, no, it was in the summertime. Like Dino, he has so many stories. Like that's just the way he was. And it was awesome. Like I said, looking back on it now, it's hilarious. But I did a one like meeting or whatever in the summertime, and like his office like looked outside towards like the train station or whatever. And I walked in there and he called me. I think an assistant came in, grabbed me, and hey, you got to go see Dean. So I walked upstairs and I sat down in his office, and he was leaning back on his chair with his feet up on the windowsill. Like I was talking to his back for like 30 seconds. He was probably just smiling behind there.
Oh yeah, he was
having a good time. So yeah, like 18-year-old kids is so intimidating by your GM, but
of course,
funny. Good times.
Yeah, that's what Steger said. Basically the same thing, but he says, "What's that dirt on your arm there?" Steger's like, he's like, "What?" He's like, "Those tattoos are those tattoos." And Steger's like, "Oh yeah, what is it? It's a motorcycle." He goes, "Oh, you ride bikes, huh?" And he says, "Well, no." And he goes, "Oh, so you're a pretender." He's just giving it to him. He's like, he goes, "What the fuck's wrong with this guy, man? I just got here."
Hilarious. He must just go home and laugh.
Exactly. At the end of the day, and it just reminded me of you telling me that little story about him. Also about Philly, just wanted to mention, it was so cool. You end up getting to play with Lukey. And I mean, that's just that, that must have just been a dream come true, but maybe a dream come true. It was so cool to have you both there. And it was so funny. Riles, these two would walk in, and big joke was, "Schenner." They both turn around.
Yeah, right.
"Schenner, what's up?" And they both turn around.
Yeah. No, it was cool experience. Like, just, getting a chance, we always say like getting a chance playing the NHL is one thing. And there's like your brother doing it with you for a couple of years, just like living in the same condo complex, driving to the game together, driving to practice together, like to and from, talking about it and stuff like that. Like, it's looking back on it, super cool experience. We're pretty thankful and lucky that we had a chance to do it.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so much fun having you both. It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. But I remember there's one night you guys are playing. Well, we're playing Colorado, and the night before, your buddies with Nathan McKinnon, you guys go to Budokan, I believe, as your brother would say, to muck it up a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta muck it up.
You gotta muck. Your brother has the best. I love his little sayings, the Buckies. Hey, last year, Riles, he's on in the finals, and he's wearing my Settlemyre Skate Sharpening hat, and I was like, almost in tears. I was like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "Hey, did you see me and your Bucky?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Were you mucking?"
Yeah.
I love you, bro. But anyway, you got with Nathan McKinnon at Budokan, and I believe you guys paid. And next night, Nathan runs your bro, separates his shoulder. in the game, and being you're the little brother, but it's your brother, and you got to try to take care of business. I'm sure you remember the rest of it if you want to tell us.
Yeah. So went to Budokan night before. So through, I don't know, I played with McKinnon through like world championships, but like how the connection is Tyson Berry. And Tyson Berry played with Luke and Kelowna. I played World Juniors. Anyways, the three of us were good buddies. And then, just kind of Nate came along for the night or whatever. And we're like, yeah, whatever. We went to Budokan, like pretty much ate the place at a rock shrimp and like, just crushing food. Anyways, the next night, I think it was on like the first period. Luke's going back for a puck, like kind of like shimmy shakes, like not really shimmy and shaking that one.
He thought he was.
Yeah.
He thought he was shimmy shaking.
Yeah, but then like he goes back and like I think like Nate gives him a little cross check, and as he cross check, he's like falling over. Anyways, bad AC joint, like still has it to this day. He has like a huge like bulge on his shoulder or whatever. And then I was in the scrum and I was just like, I think I was out there. Yeah, I was, and I was just like, I think someone grabbed him before. And anyways, they're not gonna, first overall pick, 18 years old, like no one, was gonna fight him at the time. But then the next, I was just rattled like that whole night. Like he's out the game, like big shoulder, like I'm gonna like whatever, try and do something. Anyways, but Jerome McGinley that night, like we were winning like 3 or 4-1, and Jerome was on the ice. And I don't know him actually, but I've seen him around Kelowna because he used to live there back in the day. And he's like, "Hey, Schenner." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Tell the boys I'm looking for one." Like he's like trying to get his team going. And I was just like, "Oh yeah." And like meanwhile in the back of my mind, I'm like thinking like, I grew up watching this guy. Like he's my favorite player. Like he was always on the TV in Calgary, all that type of stuff. Like got my first like NHL autograph was probably from him or whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I was like, "Hey Iggy," I was like, "I'll give you one." Like, I'll keep this story forever. And Tyson Berry's on the ice. He's like, "Schenner." He's like, "Don't do it. Don't." Come on. He's like, "Don't do it." Yeah, don't. He's like, whatever. So I dropped my gloves. Sure enough, like he goes like left, right, boom, like just like knock. I have a picture still. Like it's like. I like on my phone of a selfie. It's just like Iggy's this knuckles just right on.
Is it grain in your forehead?
Yeah, printed on my forehead. And then like that night, I think Colorado was staying overnight, and like I was walking to like, I don't know if it was like whatever. We're walking out for dinner after or something. And Colorado staying the night, and then guess who I crossed by on the street? It's like Iggy, Eric Johnson, all this. And they're just like, I got no hat on, and like knuckles across. And we all just started laughing with each other, and I was just like, "Well, what do you do?" Like, So,
your brother was reminding me of that today, and I got to tell you what he said. He said, so he tells the story you just told. He says after the game, go to the bar, run into the Avalanche guys. He goes, "I got a separated shoulder from McKinnon. Brayden has Ginla's knuckles imprinted on his forehead, and plus we had bought them dinner the night before. Avalanche 1, the Shins 0.
Yeah, tough night for the Shins. Tough night for the Shins.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was so funny though. We started talking about it. I was like, oh my god, I remember that. I didn't.
Yeah, honestly, like Iggy knew what he was doing. He knew how to fight.
Oh man, Iggy's tough, man. He's legit.
So tough.
Yeah. He just started hitting me like left, right, and I'm like, oh god, I shouldn't have done this, but got the story at least, right?
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a really good story.
It's awesome, man. That is so good.
What year was that with the Flyers there? Because I mean, you scrap 2 or 3 times a year, power forward styles. I mean, how many years deep was that? You had a couple of tilts under your belt before that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that might have been year 3. Oh, that would have been year 3 or 4 when Luke was there, probably. So.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, getting a few, but I think that guy was probably out of my weight class. The one time too. Remember when Rhino slew-footed Zach Parise, and there was a big scrum, and I had to fight Kovalchuk.
Oh yeah, yeah. He caught you there with one.
Oh man, like Rhino's like being Rhino, like just like picking on guys, goes slew-foot Zach Parise, a big scrum in the corner, and like Kovalchuk grabbed me. Meanwhile, he's like 6'3", 230, like
a big man.
Just like he's like, I'm like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'm gonna fight you. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so I drop my gloves, like I swing and miss. All of a sudden, like he comes out of nowhere, just hits me. I'm like, wake up in the penalty box. I'm like, oh shouldn't have done that. Won't do that again. Just big Russian bear.
Yeah,
I was gonna say people see the skill, they don't understand like how big and strong that man
explosive
is.
man.
It's not. I mean, it's not. Yeah, he's big and strong. Like obviously, I don't know if he fought before that or not, but
he looked like he had.
He sure beat me up.
Well, it could have, like, let's be honest, it could have been a lucky punch too, but the way it happened, it looked like he had fought before. Who knows if he had, but
Yeah.
I do remember that. Now you saying that, I do remember that.
Did you chuck him at all in juniors? I know you obviously put up some big numbers and stuff, but as they kind of, I say power forward. I mean, you get some big hits, and you got to have some fights following those up.
Yeah, I fought even a couple times, like in midget AAA in Saskatchewan. Like, I mean, there's no way that I don't think kids do that these days, but they used to be able to fight with the cage, right?
The cage, yeah.
So part of the fight was part of the but like you drop your gloves and the part of it you had to grab two straps off and rip it off, right? So it's in midget
and that
AAA,
was allowed.
Yeah, you used like in Saskatchewan midget AAA, like there was fights allowed at 15. You got kicked out of the game, but you're allowed to fight.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first time you're allowed to fight. It was in midget AAA. So I got in like one or two there, but like that was like the thing about those fights. Like one guy would have his helmet on with a cage, and the other guy would just be wailing on the other guy. Like that's just what it was. So you had to have the technique. So I fought once, maybe a midget, and then I probably fought 2 or 3 times. I don't know, nothing crazy or whatever. I guess it's just always been a part of my game a little bit. I don't know, just I'm not calling myself the toughest guy in the world, but I don't mind, I guess.
Well, you're always there for your teammates when if something's something happens, and that's huge.
You learn that from a bunch of guys in my rookie year. Actually, we had a bunch of tough guys that would stand up for each other, right? With Hartnell and Simmer and Rhino and Jody Shelley.
Oh, right, yeah.
So there's a bunch of guys where you learned from, and team first guys.
Yeah, I speaking of a couple of those names you just said, Schenner, we had there's a Flyers. Well, you guys have a St. Louis team that's Warriors, veterans from the military, and they have a big group here. There's 3 different teams. There's tier 1 team, tier 2 team, tier 3 team. Great guys, really good dudes. I do a lot of their skates and help them with their equipment and stuff. Yeah. So they played the Flyer alumni this weekend. So I knew a couple of guys that were going to be there, but come out for warm up. They got old knucklehead there, Riggs. Yeah. They got Jody. Listen to this: Jody Shelley, Al Secord, Jesse Bolleries, Dave Brown. Who else?
Friggy, Todd Fedoric,
Friggy,
Jeff.
There was one more.
Chikrin.
Chick. Yeah, Chick was out there, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like these guys, but it was good. Lap was the softest guy out there.
He's a buck. He's lighter than I am. He's a buck 80 soaking wet.
Yeah,
he was toe dragging. He loves to tell everybody about his 50 goals in junior.
Oh yeah.
But he was skilling it up out there. He looked good. Riggs was out there. He had a G note. Did you have 2? Did you have 1 or 2?
Just one on the old C division. Yeah, backdoor.
C division. Tier 3.
Yeah. Tier 3.
But I will say this, Riggs, and we didn't get to talk about this the other night after, but we're on the bench, Schenner, and one of the guys, and I feel bad now, I can't remember who it was, but someone kind of like they bumped into you. You were fine with it. You get into the boards, and then they gave you a little stick action. And then they gave you a little more stick action, and you turned and looked, and I could see the eyes. It reminded me of Johnny Stevens a little bit. The fucking little bit of the fucking eyes started twitching, and one of the boys on the bench turned. I think it was Devin, and I think he said, "Is he mad?" And I said, "Actually, I think he's mad. I think he's mad." And then Riggs takes his stick and rakes the guy across his back. I said, "He's mad, boys. Watch out. Don't fuck around, boys, because he's actually mad right now."
Yeah.
Oh man, I was gassed and mad and trying to figure out what the hell I should do, because I'm like, if I engage in a fight right now, I might get pumped because I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
fucking guy. T-boned me from the side, back.
Yeah, he did. It was so funny because they all turned to me and like, "Is he really mad?" And I said, "He's mad. He looks pissed off right now."
Unnecessary roughness, man.
They were fired up. The boys were fired. They came out. So what they did, Schenner, is they had 3 periods because they have 3 teams. And they had tier 3 first, then their tier 2, then their number 1 team, and they came out, jumped out to a 1-0 lead quick. Hey, Riggs.
First shift, I think you walk past Joe Watson there.
Yeah, Joe Watson. The whole thing was kind of celebrate Joe Watson and his career and everything. It was really cool. It was really well done. Place was packed. They did a great job.
Yeah, it looked good. I seen that on Instagram and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It looked good.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But the boys were fired up to play the alumni, and I'm like, I'd settle down out here, boys. You got the brown dog out there, Rocky Secord. Get Riggs, even though he weighs 141 pounds now with his yoga and his fucking, he only eats lettuce. Yeah, he can't muck it up with you guys.
No, just kale.
Yeah,
kale. Yeah.
Nasty's chirped me from the bench. He's like, "Are you chopping some broccoli out there?" Something like that.
There was a puck that had a bunch of chops out of it. I said, Riggs is already stick handling out here.
Yeah.
It's funny. Schenner, so Rouse is on my men's league team now. He wanted to be on a championship team. You can't.
I get it.
Who does?
Three in a row. So it's so funny. One of the guys on the team, like Rouse, is out there, and he literally weighs 180 pounds now. He's so thin, but he's still in good shape, and he's flying around, skating. And one of the guys goes, "Oh man, he could really skate." I'm like, he played the fucking NHL, man. Like, I know he was a fighter and he was way bigger, but like he could skate. Like,
people shocked, eh?
It was so funny. I mean,
it's in a straight line.
In a bad way, they were just like, I know he could skate, but I didn't think he could skate like that. And I'm like,
well, they just see me like pacing to the penalty box usually, like huffing and puffing. They never see me full stride. Yeah, or the red line. Yeah, right.
Pacing the red. Yeah.
How about the big rig there in the last couple of series? He's been policing the line. I fucking love it.
I love it too.
I love watching it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. He's the
best, man.
He's one of a kind. He's good locker room guy. Lots of fun.
Yeah,
he's that's the thing. He's so funny. He's such a nice guy. Then he's out there just. Who was he? What's it?
Mayfield?
The D-man. Yeah, Mayfield. Sorry,
yeah.
I was going to say I almost said Mayweather.
Yeah.
Mayfield. He's poking his feet back. I'm like, I love this shit.
Yeah.
The old school.
Yeah.
Did you play with him in Adirondack? Did you cross paths or?
No.
You'd already left, right?
No, I was playing. I was playing in Adirondack. He was in Syracuse.
Oh yeah, because we had sent them home there, and then that's
yeah. So he's in Syracuse, and I think that was, I don't know if it was like Anaheim's farm team at the time or
it was.
I think it was. So we played him against Syracuse. He was chirping me. I remember he was just standing.
Was he?
Oh yeah, under the bench, like you're a bust, 5th overall. Like you're never gonna play. Why are you playing in this league? Like stuff like that. So
you're a bust.
But you would have went to training camp with him that year, though, right? Because he got sent home.
No. I missed him. I missed his whole Philly day. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought.
Yeah, I think I missed it by 1 year.
All right.
We had him on Schenner, and we were kind of talking about. He had a bit of a rough time there. He had a kid at a very young age, and he wasn't getting to see the kid. It was tough, man. You're 18, you have a kid, you're not able to see him and all that stuff. And his career could have gone. He couldn't have a career if he didn't stick with it, And we kind of talked about that. Him, he stuck with it, and he might win his 3rd Stanley Cup.
Yeah, right.
No, I know.
What a storyline.
Yeah, it's
really
awesome.
Happy for him.
Sent his ass home. We were so bad, the Phantoms, that year, and he took the brunt of the heat, man. They sent him home, and well, thank God he rose above, man, because that could have been devastating. I mean, a lot of guys probably wouldn't have recovered from that. Young guy getting sent home in the middle of an American Hockey League season.
Yeah,
not that easy.
Yeah, no, I know. I think it's Homer all over him, right?
Yeah. Fat Pat. Like, I don't think you should. Can you say that? I know you can't say it anymore.
Not anymore.
The poor guy. Like, fuck, man. He's a kid. You got to teach him the things you guys all learn. You know that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
You have to be taught how to be a pro, and I think he was kind of a scapegoat for some unknown reason. I don't really know.
Well, we were just so bad that they had to like send him a message, and I guess that was the message. Like, it was just like just send home our leading scorer, right? I mean, it's like
right.
We had two veteran players on our team, 1 goal between the two of them by Christmas, and we're gonna send home Patty Maroon, and he goes on and wins 2 Stanley Cups, possibly 3. Who knows?
Let's send home our leading scorer.
Man.
Poor kid. Anyway,
Interesting
he rose
sport.
above.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good for him.
Schenner, what's your how are you hitting them these days? You've been going on these golf trips.
I think COVID was the best thing for me for my golf game. That's for
Yeah.
sure. There was a bunch of us in St. Louis. There was like O'Reilly, Bozak, Schwartz, Bertuzzo. I'm trying to think who else. Well, Patty Maroon was here too. Anyways, there's a bunch of us. And like during like that time of COVID, like just after like the 3 weeks, a month there where you're allowed to start doing something, golf courses were open. That's all we were doing. We were like playing 36 a day. Like,
oh wow,
yeah.
Oh,
So 30, not 36 a day, but like once a week for sure. Like we were just, we were out there quite a bit golfing, and yeah, I'm okay. I'm anywhere from high 70s, low 80s, kind of. I've had a few low ones. Actually, at the end of the year, I went to Aaron Hills with Schwartzy, Bertuzzo, and Alex Steen. Schwartzy put it together for a little bit retirement gift for Steener. So we went up to Wisconsin for 2 days and played up there, and was -1 going into 18, double bogey.
No way, you're -1. Oh
yeah.
I would have double bogeyed for sure. I would have lost 3 balls if I was oh man.
So
you know what's funny, Schenner, when you guys were in COVID and before you went back, Chief came home, and the only place, you know how much he likes to golf, the only place we could golf was in Delaware, and it wasn't just over the bridge in Delaware. It was like from here it was an hour 10 for me, so for him it was an hour 40 minutes. So we were going like twice a week or once a week for sure, but I think we're going like twice a week. And you remember Pac-Man? So Pac was going with us just for entertainment value, listening to him talk. But anyway, the typical Chief, we drive all the way there, and I come pull it up, and he's got his buddy with him, and it's like it's actually cold. It was cold, but the problem was the wind was blowing, and it's just a links course. So it's like, the worst conditions, mainly because of the wind. And it was like really blowing. And he goes, I pull up, I get out, I pull my bag out. He goes, I'm going home, boys. And I'm like, what? He goes, I ain't playing. Fuck this wind. Are you kidding me? He goes, I'm going home, boys. And then he picks his bag up, walks to the first tee. I was like,
screwing around.
What's wrong with you, man? I actually believed him, but I'm like, you drove all the way here, waited for me to get here, and said I'm going home, but he ended up playing. He was bitching the whole time. The whole time he's bitching.
That's awesome.
Anyway, he's actually, people don't know he's a good golfer, man. He's got sick hands.
Probably crushes it. Probably crushes the ball.
He hits a ball, but his short game's good.
Is it? Yeah.
He's a pretty good player.
You must crush it too, Schenner, eh? I mean, with your shot and everything, you guys got to convert.
No. There's a few guys. I've never seen a guy hit a golf ball as far as David Perron.
Really?
He thinks he's doing a slap shot. Like he's just trying to hit as hard as he can. And he's out there like,
does he know where it's going?
Half the time. Three quarters of the time, he's pretty good. So he'll hit us he hits his driver like 340, 350, like one of those guys.
That must be fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. One other thing, Schenner, I know we're keeping you here.
No, it's all good.
I had a question. You've played with a lot of great players. Ryan O'Reilly, man, like what a player. What like tell us something about O'Reilly, because he's just awesome, man.
Yeah, he's just like a through and through hockey guy. Like likes to have a beer, but at the same time, like he's like the guy at the rink that's like
the hardest worker,
always working on his game after practice, before practice, like just puts in the time. Just a solid leader for us. Like he's obviously, he's been a solid player. He even made the NHL at 18 when he really wasn't expected to. And ever since then, he's been solid. Obviously I've played, even knew him before St. Louis here, just from like world championships and stuff. And he's been the same guy, humble and, just an absolute gamer. So,
I got to meet him, last year when one of my last games was in St. Louis, and you got him. He signed that stick for Elvis, my son, and it's Elvis's favorite stick. I'll have to post a picture of that because it's the best. But that was one last thing I was going to say to you. people always are like, "Oh, your kid's a mess." Well, I gotta blame him, Riggs.
Yeah.
Because he was the first one to tell Elvis, "You got to shoot a top titty, baby."
Oh yeah.
This is my fault.
I'm blaming you. So,
all right.
So in all seriousness, Elvis coming in the room, and he loved Brayden, and Brayden was always nice to him, and Luke and all the boys. But he's like shooting the ball around, and he says top cheddar, and Shitter says top titty, baby. So I don't think anything of it. I'm laughing, Elvis laughing. He doesn't really know what it means. So about 2 weeks later, yeah, we got the whole family's over, and he's in the living room shooting around, and he fires one, and my mom's here, and he goes, top titty, baby, like that. And I'm like, oh, and my mom goes, what did he say? I said, top cheddar. I believe he said top titty. My mom's Southern accent. I said, he may have said that.
Yeah.
So I got to blame Jenner for all these things. And O'Reilly signed his stick, keep loving the big titties or something.
Oh, no way.
He's good when he's older. It's the greatest, man.
Yeah.
That stick of his, man. He's got the Oscar Lindblom toe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Factor stick is. He's got like a 140 flex with like no curve and like a little toe at the end of it. You're like,
toe, yeah,
140 flex?
Oh, it's just like a
stiffest thing you ever seen.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you use this
How
thing?
does he shoot?
I don't know.
Shoot with that?
He's got like that half like slap shot where he like beats goalies with all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can't even flex his stick, but he can beat goalies lots.
He's a hell of a player, man.
best hand eye I think I've seen. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
oh, he just like he knocks down every puck and like tips all pucks, and you should see him do like his like a little pregame warm up where he has like a racquetball and he like bounces it off the wall and like it's like backhand, forehand, backhand. He's just like it's crazy. Like it's like guys try it and they're just like I guess he's been doing it since he's probably been 10.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Especially a racquetball, they're so bouncy, man.
Oh, I know.
Right? Yeah, you gotta be real quick.
Yeah, no, he's got some good hands for sure.
And he's old school.
Yeah.
One of the last few guys standing there still.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
I
great,
love
man.
that about him.
Yeah.
Bob. Riggs?
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you, Shenner. Appreciate you carving out the time. Great to see you. It's been a while.
I know it has been a while. It's missed the good old Philly days, and I had keep on doing your thing. And thanks for having me on. I'll come back anytime and shoot the shit with you guys.
Yeah, Shenner 2.0.
We'll hold. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll hold you to that, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, anything you need, let me know. And you boys have a good summer.
All right. I hope you get to enjoy another Stanley Cup party this summer, bud.
Well, I didn't get to enjoy one last, so Luke none of those guys got a single give the cup. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Well, then let's
hopefully they get a chance this summer. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Seriously, thanks a lot, Shinner, man. We really do appreciate it. You've been so good to me over the years, man. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks, guys. And like I said, thanks again for having me on.
All right, brother.
All right, boys.
See you soon.
Thanks.
That episode was brought to you by Settlemyre Skate Sharpening for all your hockey needs. The best grind in town. Hit up Nasty. He's got the goods.
Hit me up, baby. Ask me about Howie Steel. Got everything you need right here in the shop/Nasty Knuckle Studio.
Oh, yeah. Beauty. And Body Check Wellness for your premium CBD and functional mushrooms. Check them out at bodycheckwellness.com. And a huge thank you to our friend BRAYDEN Schenn, Shenner, for hopping on. Really nice to reconnect with Shenner. Haven't seen him forever, besides on TV, hoisting the cup 2 years ago. And it was it's nice to see his smile and see him doing well.
Yeah, he's such a good kid, man. Great family too.
Yeah,
didn't even get to really say that to him, but his family's awesome. They're just the nicest people. Himself, Luke, and his sister, and his mom and dad. They're just awesome people.
Yeah,
they were fun to have. They were fun. Yeah, exactly. They were fun to have around. Always laughing, always smiling. But I'll tell you what, they both, you brought it up in the interview. They both come to play. Like Shenner answers a bell when he has to, and he plays a physical style, hits a lot. And his brother obviously does the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Plays a physical style, answers a bell, and they're really good team guys. Got fun guys to be around. And it was great to have him on. We'll get Lukey on here once he's finished up with his season, maybe winning his second cup in a row.
Yeah,
So
that'd be nice.
I guess we'll see.
That'd be nice. It's funny, a lot of these guys that we have on, I coached or I crossed paths with, like when they were really young, almost innocent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
They're super raw around the Flyers organization. So nice to see them blossom and grow into, the full time and successful players that they become. So, for him, obviously winning a Stanley Cup, but obviously every year he gets better and finding more his groove. Does. And, it was nice to see him have success a couple years ago, and they still have success. I mean, there's, they got a good team there in St. Louis. And
yeah, they do. They had some tough, like we've talked about before, they had some injuries, which no one's going to ever use that as an excuse, but missing David Perron out of that lineup was huge for them. I mean, he's still a hell of a player.
Sure.
And they had guys with Cote. I mean, everybody has it though. So you just got to fight through it. And they ran into a bit of a buzzsaw there. Colorado looked unbeatable.
Yeah,
like we talked about. I mean, I didn't see that. I thought they would go to the finals, but Vegas put an end to that, and then Montreal put an end to Vegas. So you just never know. Never know.
Interesting times in playoff hockey. Yeah, and just get the momentum. You get the right bounces. Obviously, you got to stay healthy. You got to get a few things going your way, but it's the way the game goes.
That's right. A little bit of luck too. Everybody always says you got to have some luck go your way as well.
You do. Be interesting to what happens tonight, game 2.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, me too.
I do need to say, Riggs, boys are a little upset. You missed the men's league game last night. We dropped one. We were looking for that 8-0 summer season, but
sorry, disappointed.
We do understand you go to bed at 6 p.m. So you couldn't make the 10 o'clock game. Yeah, you had to get your rest. You got to get it, but at the same time, you cost us a W. So
yeah, my bad. I'm sure I could have chipped in one and you're scoring 7. I should have been able
to chip in 1. It was a high scoring. It was a high scoring affair. It was actually a good game. It was fun. I'm so used to, we're so spoiled. We don't play late games. That was late. That seemed like so late. Other leagues I play in are late, 10:45 starts. Sometimes you're like, oh my God. But anyway, we'll bounce back this next week.
I'll be there Sunday, man. I'll be there Sunday, and I'll bring my A game. Don't you worry.
Oh, all right.
Don't you worry.
As long as you're bringing it.
All right, Nas. That wraps up episode 30 with BRAYDEN Schenn. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 31. Have a great week, knuckleheads.
See you, knuckleheads.